Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our health podcast. I'm your host, Anne. There's a strange paradox in how we live today. We often spend a fortune on expensive supplements, tonics, and functional foods, hoping for a miracle cure. Yet we completely look down on something incredibly humble, something sitting right there on our dinner table, a simple plate of boiled vegetables.
It's true, Ann. It's the most common mistake I see. Meanwhile, rates of high cholesterol, diabetes, and fatty liver are skyrocketing, literally making people dizzy with worry.
Exactly. And to help us decode this story today, we have our resident expert, Dr. James. Welcome back, Doctor.
It's great to be here, Ann. And you hit the nail on the head. Your question touches on the exact anxiety I face every single day in my clinic.
Really? How so?
Well, countless patients come to me clutching stacks of lab results and bags full of colorful pills. But when I ask them about their daily meals, the answer is almost always the same. They tell me, "Doctor, I eat mostly rice and meat or fish. Vegetables? Just a little bit."
That sounds like the standard diet for so many families.
It is. And that brings us to the biggest mistake. We are currently putting white rice on a pedestal, treating it like the king of the meal. People still hold on to this old belief that you must eat a lot of rice to have strength to work. But the reality is different. Our bodies often have a surplus of energy, but we store it in the worst places: belly fat, liver fat, and inside our blood vessels.
So we are overfilling the fuel tank but neglecting the maintenance crew.
Precisely. What we are desperately lacking is fiber. I often compare fiber to the silent janitors of the body. They're the workers who sweep up the mess inside us. Without them, the system gets clogged.
I completely agree, Doctor. I see this in my own circles. People take all sorts of pills claiming they are dieting, but their health doesn't improve. Is it possible that they are ignoring a small habit, like changing the very first bite they take?
Absolutely. The excessive consumption of refined starch and huge amounts of meat, combined with a severe lack of green vegetables, is the root cause of so many diseases we see today. We're basically forcing our bodies to work without the proper tools to repair and fight inflammation.
And I assume the price we pay isn't cheap.
Not cheap at all. We end up paying for it with chronic diseases that drag on for years. The body simply doesn't have enough antioxidants to repair the damage.
Moving on to another issue, Doctor. Besides not eating enough vegetables, I notice many Vietnamese families, and families in general, have very elaborate ways of cooking vegetables. But it seems like some of these methods are actually backfiring. Is that right?
That's the second major mistake. The way we boil and eat vegetables is unintentionally killing their nutritional value.
Killing the value. That sounds serious. Can you elaborate?
Well, many people have a habit of boiling vegetables until they're complete mush. Then they let them sit there, turning yellow. Or worse, they pour all the boiling water down the drain. When vegetables lose their green color and their crunch, it means the vitamins and the life force of the plant are gone. You've lost more than half the benefits. At that point, you're just eating dead fiber carcasses.
Dead fiber carcasses. That is a very vivid image. So we are eating the structure but missing the nutrients.
Exactly. And honestly, even the dipping sauces are a problem. We tend to dip these bland vegetables into incredibly salty fish sauce, or we pour fatty, salty braised meat sauce all over them.
Oh, I am definitely guilty of that. It makes the rice taste so good.
It tastes good, but it's dangerous. For patients with high blood pressure or kidney failure that I've treated, those drops of salty sauce are like the final drops of water that overflow the cup. They make the condition significantly worse. We turn a dish that is supposed to protect our blood vessels into a bridge that carries more salt and bad fat into our bodies.
Wow. So we're taking a shield and turning it into a weapon against ourselves. That is a perspective I haven't thought of.
It's a tragedy, really. We think we're eating healthy because there's green on the plate, but the preparation method negates the benefit.
Doctor, listening to you analyze these habits, I realize we are eating excessively based on our emotions and taste buds. Apart from the cooking methods, I've noticed another habit. People usually finish their bowl of rice, eat all the meat, and only then do they remember the plate of vegetables to clean the palate. Does this order of eating matter?
That brings us to the third mistake, Anne, and it's a big one. Eating vegetables at the wrong time. This is something I try to correct in every single consultation.
I've heard you use a very interesting metaphor before. You call vegetables the gatekeeper of the digestive system. What do you mean by that?
Think of your digestive tract as a long tunnel. The vegetables need to go in first. Why? Because they create a buffer zone. They act like a soft mesh lining the stomach and the upper intestines.
So they prepare the terrain?
Exactly. This fiber layer slows down the absorption of sugar from the rice you eat later. It also traps some of the bad fats, preventing them from rushing into your bloodstream. If you leave the vegetables for last, when your stomach is already packed tight with rice and meat, that gatekeeper role is completely nullified.
It's like sending the security guard in after the thieves have already entered the building.
That is a perfect analogy, Anne. The sugar and fat have already spiked your blood levels by the time the fiber arrives. It's too little, too late.
And I suppose there is one more mistake. I feel like we are racking up a long list of errors today.
The fourth mistake is subtle, but very insidious. It's the laziness in changing the types of vegetables we eat. I know many people who eat the same one or two types of vegetables for their entire lives, regardless of the season.
I can relate to that. We tend to buy what's familiar. It's easier to shop that way.
It is easier, but biologically, it's a missed opportunity. Each type of vegetable is like a separate pharmacy. One type might be excellent for detoxing the liver. Another might be specific for lowering blood sugar. Another acts like a broom for cholesterol.
So if we don't diversify, we limit our medicine cabinet?
Yes, if you don't eat a variety, you are voluntarily stripping yourself of the chance to be healed by these natural, incredibly precious medicines. We call it eating the rainbow for a reason. Different colors mean different antioxidants.
These sound like small, trivial mistakes, doctor, but when you group them together, it feels like a comprehensive failure in our lifestyle.
To prove that these aren't just small theoretical errors, let me tell you and the listeners about a specific case. This is about Miss 2. She's a 61-year-old patient I treated recently.
Please share her story. I think real stories help us visualize the problem better.
Miss 2 is an accountant. She spent over 30 years sitting at a desk dealing with paperwork, very little physical movement. This lifestyle led to a cascade of problems: prediabetes, high cholesterol, and type 2 diabetes.
That sounds like the classic profile of an office worker.
It is. When I asked her about her daily menu, she admitted that white rice was the main event. It was always accompanied by braised pork or fried fish. As for vegetables, maybe a few sprigs of water spinach or a little mustard green, just for color.
Just for decoration, essentially.
Correct. And the reason? She said she was afraid of the pesticides in vegetables, or sometimes she just forgot. But the real reason was psychological. She confessed to me, "Doctor, eating out is convenient, and honestly, rice and meat give me energy. Veggies are just grass."
Veggies are just grass. I think that sentiment is incredibly common. People think vegetables are just filler, something to help with constipation, but not a source of real nutrition.
And that belief is dangerous. She also told me something that has stuck with me ever since. She said, "I thought for big diseases I needed to use strong medicine. How can mere vegetables and grass cure anything?"
That mindset, the belief that technology and pharmaceuticals are the only answer.
I had to explain to her very carefully. I told her that every meal she ate that lacked fiber was like filing another document in a dangerous folder. Line 1, white rice. Line 2, animal fat. And pushing the vegetable plate to the edge of the table was the moment she threw away her body's chance to self-heal.
That is a powerful wake-up call, doctor. Thriving away the chance to self-heal. So what happened to Ms. Thu? Did she accept your advice immediately?
Might at first. Changing a habit that has roots over 30 years deep is incredibly hard. She promised me she would try, but 3 months later, when she came back for a checkup, all her indicators had actually gotten worse.
Oh no, why? Did she not follow the plan?
She was honest with me. She said she often got home late from work, so she just bought takeout rice. And takeout rice, it rarely has boiled vegetables. If it does, it's usually stir-fried with cheap oil, or it's pickled vegetables which are high in salt.
Right, and at home her children probably prefer fried foods or sour soups rather than bland, boiled greens.
Exactly. She was fighting a battle on two fronts, convenience and family preference. The result? One morning she had to be rushed to the emergency room with severe abdominal pain. We did a colonoscopy and found large polyps, accompanied by severe inflammation and ulceration.
That is terrifying, from simply skipping veggies to ending up in the ER.
It's a harsh reality. When she was lying in that hospital bed, in pain, looking at me with regret, she admitted that she shouldn't have ignored her mother's advice to eat greens to clean the gut.
It's sad that we often only realize the value of health when we are lying in a hospital bed.
Indeed. The reality is, silent killers like colon cancer, diabetes, or stroke don't just appear out of nowhere. They sneak into our bodies through those overflowing bowls of rice, those plates of greasy meat, and importantly, through the absence of the protective shield that is fiber.
Doctor, you've used the image of the cleaning crew a few times. Can we dig deeper into that? Why does merely skipping a side dish lead to such catastrophic failure in our internal machinery?
Let's visualize the city inside your body, Anne. Imagine your body is a bustling metropolis. The cells are the houses, the factories. The blood vessels are the highways delivering oxygen and food. The liver is the massive waste processing plant. And the gut, that's the main road for everything to enter the city.
Okay, I can picture that.
Now, every time you put food in your mouth, it's like sending trucks into the city. Some trucks carry goods, but others carry trash and debris. If the majority of your convoy consists of refined sugar, bad fats, and processed meat, you are sending in tons of heavy-duty trucks full of potential waste.
And without veggies, there's no street sweeper?
Exactly. Without vegetables, there is no sanitation department, no one to sweep the streets, no one to enforce traffic laws. Within a few years, the city gets gridlocked. The streets are filled with sludge and trash. The air gets polluted. That is exactly what happens when your body lacks fiber.
So the traffic jam is the disease.
Yes, the gut gets blocked, the liver gets overworked because it's drowning in toxins, and the blood vessels, they become narrow, dirty alleyways filled with mud, which is the cholesterol.
That explains why we can't just leave our health to medicine while neglecting the foundation.
Correct. That's why we cannot just rely on drugs. You can't build a healthy city on a foundation of garbage.
This leads me to a question many listeners have. Why does eating too much starch like rice, noodles, bread cause such havoc if we don't have veggies? I thought rice was just energy.
This brings us to the first major mechanism, blood sugar and insulin.
The sugar trap.
Right. When you eat white rice or bread, it digests very quickly. It turns into glucose and floods your bloodstream instantly. It's like a flash flood. The pancreas has to panic. It pumps out insulin immediately to manage this flood.
And if this happens every day, 3 times a day,
The pancreas gets exhausted. The cells stop listening to the insulin. This is called insulin resistance. But here is where the miracle of vegetables comes in.
how do vegetables stop the flood?
When you eat boiled vegetables first, the fiber mixes with water in your stomach. It forms a gel-like substance. This gel coats the food. It slows down the digestion process. Instead of a flash flood of sugar, you get a slow, steady stream.
So the vegetables turn a tsunami into a gentle river.
Beautifully put. It saves your pancreas from overworking. It keeps your energy stable, and it prevents that sudden crash that makes you crave more sugar later.
That explanation about the sugar tsunami versus the gentle river makes so much sense, doctor. It really highlights why the order of eating matters. Now, what about the second mechanism? You mentioned the dirty alleyways in our blood vessels. How do vegetables help with fats and cholesterol?
This is the second crucial mechanism. Think of your blood vessels as the plumbing pipes in your house. When they are brand new, they are smooth and water flows perfectly. But if every day you pour grease and leftover food down the sink without ever using a pipe cleaner, what happens?
The grease sticks to the walls. The pipe gets narrower. Eventually, it clogs.
Exactly. In our bodies, that grease is the triglycerides and the LDL, the bad cholesterol. But fiber acts like a soft, sponge-like brush. As it moves through your digestive system, it binds to cholesterol particles. It traps them.
It traps them before they can get into the blood.
Yes, it binds to bile acids, which are made of cholesterol, and carries them out of the body through your waste. It literally sweeps the bad fat out. If you don't eat vegetables, that cholesterol gets reabsorbed, going back into your blood to clog your arteries.
So eating vegetables is essentially daily maintenance for our internal plumbing.
Correct. It keeps the pipes clear so you don't suffer a burst pipe, which in the human body is a stroke or a heart attack.
That is terrifying but empowering to know we can control it. Now, doctor, you also practice Eastern medicine. Does traditional medicine share this view, or is this just a modern science thing?
Traditional Chinese medicine and Eastern philosophy have known this for thousands of years, and we look at the body through the lens of qi, or energy, and organ systems. We pay special attention to the spleen, stomach, and liver.
How does Eastern medicine view a diet high in meat and sweets but low in greens?
When you eat too much heavy, greasy, sweet food, the body accumulates what we call dampness and phlegm.
Phlegm? You mean like when we have a cold?
Not just that. In TCM, phlegm is a broader concept. It's like a thick, invisible sludge that obstructs the flow of energy. Imagine a swamp. It's sticky, heavy, and stagnant.
And this swamp makes us feel how?
It makes you feel heavy, lethargic, your head feels foggy, your belly gets big and soft, your digestion is slow. This internal dampness eventually turns into heat, leading to inflammation, acne, boils, and even tumors.
So the dampness is essentially the metabolic waste we talked about earlier?
Precisely. We are just using different languages to describe the same reality. The body is being suffocated by excess.
And vegetables are the cure for this dampness.
Yes, green vegetables are generally cooling and clearing. They help resolve phlegm. They promote urination to drain the dampness out. They help the liver energy flow smoothly. So whether you look at it through the microscope of Western science or the philosophy of Eastern medicine, the conclusion is identical.
That is fascinating. We are suffering from nutritional gluttony, but starvation of essentials.
You put it perfectly. We are overfed but undernourished.
So, doctor, we understand the why now. The fear is real and the motivation is there. But many people fail because they don't know the how. They take medication, but the disease persists. Why is that?
It's because they treat the medication as a firefighter.
A firefighter?
Yes, when your blood sugar spikes or your blood pressure shoots up, the medicine comes in to put out the fire immediately. It saves your life. I never deny the value of medicine in emergencies.
But firefighters can't prevent the fire from starting again tomorrow.
Exactly. If the homeowner, you, keeps lighting fires in a living room by eating wrong, or if you keep filling the house with flammable trash, bad food, the firefighters can't live there forever. You can't rely on a rescue team to manage your daily life.
That is a profound realization. The vegetable plate is fire prevention.
Yes, it reduces the fuel for the fire. It cleans the house. If you rely solely on medication without changing your diet, you're asking your liver and kidneys to work overtime to process both the bad food and the strong drugs. Eventually, the system collapses.
I've seen this. People whose liver enzymes go up or kidney function goes down after years of medication.
It happens all the time. That is why I tell my patients, medicine is the emergency rescue. Vegetables and lifestyle are the rebuilding process.
Doctor, we are ready for the solution. If I want to restart my health journey today, specifically with boiled vegetables, what should I do? Do I just grab any vegetable?
To make it easy and effective, I have a roadmap. But first, let's talk about the types of vegetables. I categorize them into 5 miracle groups. You should rotate these.
Okay, let's go through the 5 groups. What is number 1?
Group 1 is the mucilaginous group. These are veggies that are slimy or sticky, like okra or Malabar spinach.
Oh, the slimy ones. Many people are afraid of that texture.
They shouldn't be. That slime is gold. It acts as a lubricant for the intestines, helping with constipation perfectly. It also coats the stomach lining, great for people with ulcers.
Wonderful. Group number 2.
Group 2 is the sulfur-rich group, or the cruciferous family. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. These contain compounds that help the liver detoxify strongly. They're like a deep clean for your chemical plant.
Got it. Group number 3?
Group 3 is the bitter group. Things like bitter melon. I know it's hard to eat for some, but bitter veggies are incredible for lowering blood sugar and stimulating digestion.
Bitter medicine is the best medicine, as they say. Group 4?
Group 4 is the diuretic group. Winter melon, celery, cucumber. These help flush out excess water and toxins through the kidneys. Great for reducing swelling or edema.
And the last group?
Group 5 is the native or local group. Things like water spinach, sweet potato greens, mustard greens. These are cheap, easy to find, and full of vitamins.
That is a great menu. Now, are there any warnings? Is this safe for everyone?
Generally, yes, but 2 groups need caution. First, kidney failure patients. If your potassium or phosphorus is high, you must boil vegetables very thoroughly and discard the water. Do not drink the vegetable broth.
And the second group?
People taking blood thinners like warfarin. Vegetables contain vitamin K, which helps blood clot. It opposes the medicine. You shouldn't stop eating vegetables, but you must keep the amount consistent every day. Don't eat a huge amount one day and none the next. Consult your doctor to adjust the dose.
Very important safety tips. Now, doctor, give us the action plan. How do we start?
I propose a 3-phase plan. Phase 1 is the first 7 days. I want you to change the ratio. Reduce your rice by just 30%. Replace that empty space with boiled vegetables. And crucially, eat the vegetables first.
Just 1 week of swapping and reordering.
Yes, you might feel hungry faster or your stomach might rumble as the bacteria adjust. That's normal. Stick with it. Phase 2 is the next 4 weeks. Make it a habit. Rotate through the 5 groups I mentioned. Don't let your plate get boring.
And phase 3?
Phase 3 is the long term, 3 months and beyond. By now, your taste buds will change. You will actually crave the sweetness of a boiled carrot or the crunch of broccoli. Your blood tests will start to look beautiful. Your skin will clear up.
It sounds like a journey back to ourselves.
It is. Remember, a boiled vegetable plate isn't just a side dish. It is a contract of peace you sign with your heart, your liver, and your gut. It's the cheapest health insurance you can buy.
Thank you so much, Dr. James. Before we close, what is your final message to our listeners who are looking at their dinner tables tonight?
My message is simple. Don't wait for a diagnosis to change. Start tonight. Boil a plate of okra or broccoli. Eat it before you touch the rice. It's a small step, but it's a giant leap for your longevity.
Small step, giant leap. Thank you, doctor, for these incredibly practical insights. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Remember, health starts in the kitchen, not the pharmacy. We'll see you in the next episode.